Monster presents Heard on Thursdays, the iconic radio talk show that made Philippine FM radio talk. Winner of multiple KBP Golden Dove Awards. HOT. Heard on Thursdays. Your host, Nikki Porter.
Hey Monsters, I'm Nikki Porter and welcome to the show that made Philippine FM radio talk that's heard on Thursdays on The Monster. First things first, I'd like to take the opportunity to say Happy Women's Month. There's still a lot of work to be done in showing support and giving opportunities to women, but we have come a very long way. And for women who feel disheartened or hopeless in whatever their situation is, everything will work itself out. And I hope that it does too, because it's like what Reese Witherspoon said. Do you know any woman in any crisis situation who has absolutely no idea what to do? I mean, don't they tell people in crisis, even children, if you're in trouble, talk to a woman. So listen, whether you're a career woman or a working mom or an aspiring CEO or somewhere in between, you're doing amazing. And by the way, while we are given a month in a year to celebrate us, you're totally allowed to celebrate women every single day of the year. And if there's one thing women do really, really well, it's creating community. And tonight, we're joined by one of the co-founders of Leading Ladies, a women's community that creates opportunities for accomplished women to connect authentically, share their experiences openly, and support each other's growth journey. Our guest tonight is Cat Ilacad, a visionary entrepreneur herself who owns Posh Nails, one of the leading nail salon brands in the Philippines. And as mentioned earlier, she is also the co-founder of Leading Ladies, which she built alongside Rach Stern and Rica Paralejo Bonifacio. Tonight, we'll talk to Kat about her own growth journey, how Leading Ladies began, and the community's upcoming Women's Month event called She Shine Summit happening on March 29. Heard on Thursdays, let's welcome to the show, Cat Ilacad. Welcome!
Hi, Nikki.
So happy to have you here and very much appreciate your time as well. So you're a CEO of a beauty brand, Posh Nails. You're a co-founder of Leading Ladies, which is a women's community in the Philippines. Did you always have this entrepreneurial mindset growing up for you?
Thank you so much for having me, Nikki. I think growing up, I was already wired to go into that path. My dad, being my mentor and my idol, he's been producing movies and music in the entertainment industry since I was born. And I would always see him really go about going after every hit, having blockbusters, and having that impact in every human being possible. And I said, one day I would want to have that too. Pero I know in not that magnitude, maybe at least 10%, that's my goal. And here I am now.
So it's very interesting that you said that your father worked in a different industry. Initially, was that the same industry that you wanted to work in, or was it still something different in mind?
So when I was still studying and right after graduation, I would always help him in marketing. Even when I had Posh Nails, I would help him in marketing, but not really on the technical side. My dad would always say, mahirap sa showbiz. So let's just do the marketing, let's do promotions. And I was able to do different styles of marketing then. But he also, when I graduated, he put me in the marketing department of our bar back then. And I was thinking, sabi ko, I don't want to be branded as the daughter of the owner, the child of the owner. Anak lang yan ng may-ari, that's why she's here. No, I wanted to prove something. And then I told my dad, Dad, I will help in the business, but please, can I make my own brand? Or can I, establish something else?
So early on, you had you were able to, speak for yourself. You were able to use your voice actually in deciding what you wanted for yourself. And so what then made you decide to start a business in the beauty and wellness industry?
So when I was graduating in college, I had my thesis and I was always so stressed. And the only thing that would relax me was a foot spa. So I thought it was always in my head na I love this. I love the experience. So when I graduated and then I told my dad I wanted my own business, he said, sige, present me with three options. So I gave him three options and he said, parang interesting nail salon because there's not so much nail salons. In fact, he wasn't familiar with it. Sabi niya, tell me what's it's all about. And then I told him, and definitely 24 years ago, Nikki, there wasn't much nail salons. There were a couple like for artificial nails, sculptured nails, but none of it that really pampering. So my dad kasi is a go-getter. Siguro right after a week, he said, you'll start 3 months from now. I got you a space. So that was really para, okay, sige. But I didn't know anything about it. What I really knew was that how I would want to be pampered. That's really what I knew. And then through the years, I learned all the basics. I tried to order books, learn from other people. And then Posh Nails is still here 24 years after.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I love that you had the support also of your father, and he was the one who gave you kind of that deadline in 3 months you're going to start. But then, this is something that you had to do on your own. You said you wanted to blaze your own path. So as an entrepreneur and CEO, what were your biggest worries and fears when you were starting out Posh Nails?
So, Nikki, I started when I was 22. So definitely when I started Posh Nails, I had that insecurity. Will people believe in me? Will people come to the salon? In fact, it was very difficult then because we had no social media back then. We would do flyering, we would just do press releases, and that's how we handled it. And one of my insecurities was my staff and my clients were older than me. So I really had that problem, and I told my dad, how will I prove myself? Kailangan ko ba magsalamin para lang for them to believe me that I can do this? So through the years, backed up with the knowledge, of course, I was able to prove and be credible to our clients. And I believe we have a lot of loyal clients. Another struggle would be me wanting to do it all. I think that's one of my dominating personality na kaya ko to. But the real deal is you have to believe in your team. You have to learn how to delegate. Pero at that time, Nikki, I didn't have a team. Maybe one for financials because I'm really bad with numbers. So just really believe in a team so you can do something better. Minsan, we think we can do everything, but these are just small things. You can delegate it. You can ask your team to do it for you. And you can focus on the bigger things that can be the goal of the business. So that's another rookie mistake probably that I made, that I learned through the years. And siguro one of my fear was really not earning. I think most people would have that fear na hindi ka pa nagsastart, feeling mo you're not gonna earn. And it's sad that we have that mentality, but we are all working on it. We are all in progress of really believing in what we can do and what we want to achieve.
Yeah. And I like that you mentioned there were two things, you learning to depend on your team, and another one was the mentality of that you're not earning anything. So I want to address the first one also with regard to the team. Because sometimes if you're an entrepreneur, it's you don't trust anyone but yourself because you can do it best, right? That's the mentality that you would have. So what then would you look for in a teammate or an employees for Posh Nails? What did you look for so that you can entrust that, what you delegate to them is something that they can do?
Nikki, I started with just a really lean team, and up to this day, it's a lean team. And what I looked for in each teammate was really the love and care for the brand. It's hard when people just really look at it as work. If they love what they're doing, I know that they won't let the brand feel. They will help me get through whatever trials we have, and we will make it to the finish line. The hard work and the dedication and the kusang loob, that they would not say na, ay, nag-overtime ako. No, they would always say to me, let's work some more so we can finish this and we can give the best to our clients. So those traits probably.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's wonderful that you were able to find these people. And so the second thing that you mentioned was the mentality of like you not earning. And for a lot of people, especially who want to start their businesses, they want to earn like as soon as possible, like when they put up the business. So what is the reality check that you would like to give those entrepreneurs who are probably afraid of that, who also have the same fears, that like when can they expect, or like what is the mentality they should have until they finally start earning?
So I think, Nikki, it's starting a business. You really have to know your capacity. Like, for example, this amount, until this amount, I will try everything, all my marketing tactics, all my everything. I will get KOLs, influencers to do this for me. But know your budget also. Don't put all eggs in just one basket. When do you start earning? Some people, they earn right away. Some people don't. And it's normal. It's your own path. It's your own direction. So sometimes, like for example, for me, for Posh Nails, when I started, my goal was really just to break even muna, Nikki. To be able to provide for my nail techs, to be able to pay them, but not sacrificing quality products used for the services. So it was good for me then because when someone published an article about us, people came in. It was hard at first because we were educating people what this nail salon was. Nobody knew what this sala-looking type of room is. Like, why are there couches? They're not used to that. They're used to a normal parlor or salon, which has blow drying, styling services, and everything all in one house. This was customized. So it was really having that one person believe in me, write about it, and people started to come in. And I can't say I started earning. It was after a year, but I never asked any more money from my dad since the day I opened. It just like ano lang siya, on its own. We were able to earn it. I could say break even, but it was just going on, and I didn't have to ask for more money. And so people who are entering a new business, you will not earn right away. It will be very fortunate for you if you do, and that's good. When you do earn right away, the problem is really, the concern is sustaining it and scaling. For those not earning right away, it's just like really going through it all. Because if a product is something that will be used, if you have tapped something that is a need of people, then you will surely be able to capture your market. Sometimes it takes time. Be patient, and you will get there for sure.
Yeah. I love that. And thank you for sharing also, like just to hold the fort and really just like, keep at that end. So it is Women's Month, but I do want to ask, what are some 3 tips? Like I know there are female entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs who are listening right now. So what are some 3 tips you could give women in considering to start a business? What would these tips be?
So I would always tell my mentees that you should always know your why. Business is hard, and your purpose will always be your anchor. So whenever you face struggles, you face those hardships, failure, you go back to your why. Why am I doing this? Why am I here? Who am I serving? And that will lead you to the right direction. Second, probably is to be able to acknowledge that you need help. So you would need mentors or coaches, or just asking. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room all the time, but you can be the most curious, and you can be the most inquisitive, and you can ask people what you need to know. And probably the third will be surround yourself with people with the same goals as yours. Sometimes it's just a little push that we need. When we have business, we always have problems. We encounter stress, but knowing that there's someone who you can lean on is already a big deal, and like a big chunk will be taken off your shoulders.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully this does help somebody who's listening to maybe take that big leap of faith and start their own business. But also, in addition to what you were talking about in terms of mentorship, your Posh Beauty Studio company recently started a new venture called Building Beauty. So it's a mentorship program for beauty businesses. So what compelled you to create this initiative?
Actually, Nikki, this is a pandemic baby. I had lots of time to think. During the pandemic, we had a lot of time. But I realized during the pandemic, I am already 24 years in this year, and for Posh Nails. And what I really wanted to have is a sense of purpose, and leave a legacy behind that would affect a lot of people. And although we have a lot of franchises for Posh Nails, we have 35. I want it to be more. And I know people, not all women would want to franchise Posh Nails, because some would want to start their own. And I said to myself, I would want to teach them. Maybe, guide them and let them skip the mistakes that I made, because I didn't have really a mentor for a nail salon. So this is something that is very close to my heart, that I really want to teach a lot of women that they can do what they're passionate about. They can have a business that they love. And it doesn't have to be my brand, but their brand as well.
Okay, well, and which is something that's very hopeful, especially for women entrepreneurs or those who want to start beauty businesses. That there's someone who is available to share their knowledge and in the beauty business, having been there for more than 2 decades already, and it's just something that's it's beautiful to see, and also. It's like what I mentioned earlier, it also helps create a community, right? So now, speaking of communities, you did found Leading Ladies with Rach Stern and Rika Bonifacio. So it's an interesting concept, but it's something that there are few of those that are going around. But in terms of the three of you, when you came upon this idea, why or like how did it actually start?
So, Nikki, I told you I had a lot of time during the pandemic. So this is, again, a pandemic baby. It was a time when Rach Sturt, my friend and co-founder, we were talking over the phone, and we said we wanted to do business, but we didn't know what yet at that time. We would talk every day, and then I would tell her, back in early on during Posh Nails, I wanted to have coffee with like-minded people, and just to share resources, suppliers, problems. It was a small scale. Yun lang yung iniisip ko before. And then sabi namin, why not let's make a community and have a deeper purpose in tagal na rin, because Rach also is in her events company for 23 years, almost the same as me. And then we said, sige, let's start a community. So this community we were just brainstorming, this community will be about women. It's going to focus on business, leadership, creating a space for ambitious women. It's for every ambitious women who want to learn, who want to be inspired, or to, just network and connect. And so we founded it in 2022, late 2022, but the economy started opening up, and our online classes then did not really succeed. So we had to take a pause and said, let's focus on our businesses first. And then in last year, in 2023, 2024, I said, can we start again? Because I know this is something that women need. And then I said, let's just focus on socials and growing it. And I want to onboard my friend Rika Bonifacio to have someone with a louder voice and influence who can help us spread the word about this community. So we started in 2024 in May with 1,300 members, and now we're 10,500 strong.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that's amazing. And this was something that you like just came back to last year, no?
Yes, yes.
That's amazing. So in
Thank
your
you.
in your opinion, what is something that people would somehow get wrong if you're a female entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, or if you're just a career-driven woman? What are some of these things that you've probably heard on a personal experience or from other people's experience? Which honestly, it can make a lot of our blood boil.
Yeah, actually, for women leaders, entrepreneurs, or anybody who's just really ambitious or career driven, people would think that you're too ambitious. It means you've chosen work over everything else. But it's not really like that. A lot of women I know are juggling to have a good relationship with friends, to have a family, to have a good and healthy lifestyle, and to have a business. So, of course, women choose to have a good career because that's part of our goals. We will never be complete without our dreams and our goals. But we also do want a balanced life. It's not always like that because people get to judge women now that we're so career driven. We don't have time for family and friends. Of course, every woman wants that. But every woman also needs to reach for that dream. Since we were kids, we had those dreams, and it's also good that women become career driven. They're leaders in their own fields because women, they lead with softness. They lead with empathy, and it's very different from how a man leads. And it's nice to have both. And it's nice for people to experience both also. And I think we, as women, we also give a big part of that softness and that touch for every brand that we lead.
Yeah. And so why now? Like, why do you feel that it's important to have leading ladies now, or, just have this community for women now more than ever?
I really think that we need a community like this because when I started, we didn't have one. And, just Nikki, just looking at our members' faces when they see each other and they get to collaborate means a lot to us. And being able to inspire, being able to just connect them, find their future collaborator, give validity that their goals and dreams are okay. It's okay to dream. It's okay. I love like really just inspiring them and like being their big sister and cheerleader. And like what I said earlier, my dad really believed in me. And if I can be that person to our members, that believer, then I will do it. I would want to push them to go after their dreams and make them realize that it's part of really their life and their journey to becoming a better version of themselves.
And I want to go back actually to what you mentioned earlier about, how there's this stigma of like you having to prioritize your career instead of, relationships in your life. When you started out Posh Nails, because right, as an entrepreneur, it's like you're giving up a full-time job for a 24/7 kind of job. That's like the reputation that it gets. So for you, when you started out, how are you able to manage your time? I'm not going to say balance, but how are you able to manage your time between work and your personal life as well?
For me, kasi this is just being transparent. I was really focused on work. I had time for my friends, of course, but probably being in a relationship back then was the least thing on my mind. So I really wanted Posh Nails to be big. I really wanted to be accessible to everybody, and I was able to achieve it. And now I think I have more time for my personal life also, relationship-wise, family, friends. Back then naman, I would be working so hard, but the weekends, Nikki, are sacred for just chill. Just being able to relax and unwind. Because actually, sorry, just a bit of our schedule ever since for my family, our lunchtime is non-negotiable. So I would really spend time lunch. Our lunch is 11 a.m. So this is just okay. Our lunch is at 11 a.m. and still up to this day, every day we have lunch together. It's just really a major meeting if I'm gonna skip lunch. So I think that part with family time is always there.
I love that. And thank you for your transparency, of course, because a lot of people like they were probably thinking it's like it's all work, work, work. But then sometimes like you can realize that you will have agency eventually in the future to be able to accommodate more of your own personal time as well. And that the weekends for you is for chill time, as you said.
Yeah. For massage time to relax.
Oh, I love that. I love that for you. So for with regard to leading ladies, you mentioned earlier it's like you help people achieve their dreams or you encourage them to do so. So do they necessarily have to be like a CEO, an entrepreneur already to become a member of Leading Ladies?
Actually, no. What we encourage people to think about Leading Ladies is that every woman who has a dream, and that's every one of us. So we just want that inspiration to come from us, to the encouragement and the light and the aha moment for them to figure it all out. We're there for them.
Oh, okay. And so it is like membership based. So how would I go about it? Like I can just sign up so I can be a part of Leading Ladies?
Okay, so just to be a part of Leading Ladies, just by following our account at Ladies Let's Lead on Instagram. But if you want the members only experiences or like special discounts with our brand partners, then you can sign up for membership for Ladies League at leadingladies.ph. But basically just following us is already being a member.
Yeah. Oh wow, I feel honored now because I follow you guys.
And I hope we will see you at the event. We will reserve
my
this for you.
Oh, I love that. And so like it's really wonderful what you guys are doing with Leading Ladies. Even if you had just brought it back to life, in 2024, wanting to focus on it. So there is this event actually, apart from She Shines, which we'll talk about later, Ladies Who Launch, which I love the pun intended there. So what is Ladies Who Launch about?
Okay, so Nikki, we didn't really had any plans of in-person events. I told you previously that we just wanted to grow the community, but they were messaging us for an event. And that wasn't in the pipeline. I would always say it wasn't there. But when they asked for it, Rach and I were talking, okay, let's try. Since Rach is the master of the event. So, let's try 50 packs, I said. So, Ladies Who Launch will be about having brunch while having credible speakers, influential people talk about what women are going through. So we started it with just really content creation, just the basics, like what would they be needing. But there will be an allotted time for networking. That's the main concept of Ladies Who Launch. We started one in October and was sold out in less than a week. So we were so surprised and people were asking to sign up, but we weren't prepared for a bigger capacity. And then we said we need to do it again because they were really messaging us. So again, not in our plans. In December, when everybody else were busy shopping, we had an event and it was for 100 packs and we were sold out in less than 2 weeks. And we said, I think there's a hunger for this in-person interaction and, just really talking to someone. We would always say when we had this event that it's different when you talk to your friends who are into business. Ang usapan dun is, Were you able to hire your team? Were you able to pay taxes? Were you able to, scale your business? Where do you get your funding? It's a space where you are safe, so you can talk about anything and everything. That's what we would want. So that was Ladies Who Launch, which needs another season 3 as a provider of inspiration and motivation. Now we would want more people to have access to this.
Yeah. And again, it's so wonderful because in addition to what you said, I think what this event does, because of the hunger for people to want to, come together in a single event, it's because it's like we wanted to find, the like-minded people, like maybe outside of their friend circle as well, who knows what you're going through as well, or who can provide you some mentorship, some advice, so that they can, so you can, be taught and you can learn also the ropes and from people who have actually, done the same things that they have. And I think it's no wonder that it's needed now also. So yeah. And so aside from Ladies Who Launch, are there any other, smaller events probably that you host under Leading Ladies?
So right now, like we had Ladies Who Launch. We're having it season 3 this year also, and we also planned a few smaller activities, which is called the Link Up. The Link Up will be all about networking. We don't have a date yet for it, and then we also have a small event called Play Kit. It's more of a master class for like a sprint masterclass for starting entrepreneurs or those seasoned entrepreneurs already. So 2 tracks. It's still on the works, but these are something to look forward to.
Yeah, for sure. And that's something that's exciting to hear, especially for, listeners now who are probably thinking about maybe this is something that I want to try. So at least this is something that can help me pursue my dreams, or just give me that push. Sometimes we just need a push.
Right.
So I think some women also, speaking of they know and feel in their soul that they're meant to start a business, but they're afraid to make it happen, right? Because there's this notion of 80% of entrepreneurs will fail, and so that statistic can be scary, right? To have that information, and then am I going to be a part of the 80% if I decide to pursue this? So there's a fear of failure, there's a fear of criticism that they carry, and that will keep them stuck from pursuing their dreams. So what's your advice to women who need help in overcoming their fears and doubts to just go for what they want?
I always believe that it's a calculated risk. You should not put all your efforts in one venture. Maybe you try it on a small scale first. It doesn't have to be big to make a big impact. Sometimes it's just a small thing that can be scalable, that can grow to something bigger. Nikki, when I started Posh Nails, I was 22. I just really wanted one store. I just wanted one store where I can create good service and just exhaust all my creativity and my kakikayan. And thankfully, people liked it. And we are now we now have 35 stores. We also have home service and products. So what I'm trying to say here is that you can start small. It's an idea first. Take the first step towards your goal. Have people help you. Always ask for help. And then be positive about it. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it.
Would you know if there's a point in time then that maybe, if, for example, there's an idea that's not working out for this aspiring entrepreneur, would they know, or are there is there a certain point in time when they should decide to not necessarily to close up the business, but then to probably pivot? So would there be a point in time that they should decide? Because some people just keep going, but then really see how far it would go. But at what point maybe they should decide to probably pivot their business?
It's actually, the numbers will always show, Nikki. So sometimes we're in denial also for it. I have closed two stores, I think two stores. And that's really heartbreaking for me, especially at a young age. But knowing that you can do better on another location on my part, or for our listeners, if it's another business, it's really just finding what the people want and finding what you're passionate about. So when you're passionate about, for example, creating candles, make it personal, make it your own. What is the difference among all the others who are creating it? How will you market it better than the rest? And if the numbers will always show with regards to your orders, with regards to your profitability. If it's not working, then try another thing. It's always a learning process, and those don't be disheartened, because the best entrepreneurs have failed in their lives. So we can always try again.
Okay, so try again.
Yes.
That's the takeaway. And now, okay, the time for us to talk about, She Shine Summit. So it is Women's Month, and it's no surprise that there's been a lot of female-led events around Manila. So Leading Ladies, of course, is organizing She Shine Summit that's happening on March 29th. So what can attendees expect when they attend She Shines on March 29th?
Okay, so Nikki, it's gonna be a very, very busy Saturday for everybody. Every ticket holder has access to the main stage. There will be a lot of talks, and our speakers are Jack Gutierrez of Happy Skin, Crystal Bello Pitt of Bello Essentials. We have Marge Marroquette also for content creation, and Danny Barreto for Wellness Whispers for the main speakers. And we have about 14 more for a panel, different panels talking on the main stage. But what goes with your ticket is that you get free access to workshops all throughout the day and free pampering sessions. There will be a lot of food, a lot of drinks and desserts. Everything is included. Just show up, ready to learn, with an open mind and an open heart.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. And so you mentioned workshops. Like, what are some of the examples of the workshops that attendees can go to and maybe learn a thing or two from?
Okay, so we have 3 workshops. We have one with Anina Rubio, which is watercolor painting, and then the 2 others would be candle making and perfume making with Pahinga Store.
Wow, that's cool. And I love that it's not necessarily like focused on business mismo, but it's also kind of just like exploring skills
Yes.
that women, those attending, would be interested in, starting, for example. So, like, for those who want to attend, how can they purchase a ticket? How much are the tickets? And where is it going to be held as well?
Okay, so She Shine Summit is happening on March 29th, Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. They can avail of the tickets at leadingladies.ph. But if they message at Ladies Let's Lead, they will have a discounted link. The ticket is $6,999 for every attendee. It comes with all the meals and all the workshops included, with the pampering sessions and the gift bag that's worth a lot.
I love that. So, okay, so we are nearing the end of the show. Do you have any parting message, probably for women out there who wants to become successful, create a name for themselves, or start this brand? Any parting words before we end the show?
Yeah, thank you, Nikki. Actually, I just really want to tell everybody who's listening that it doesn't come easy. Everything comes with hard work. Most of the people that we see online who are entrepreneurs and leaders have faced their own failures, have faced trials. But, being able to pick yourself up after every trial, being able to smile at least and still acknowledge that there is something good in what happened, seeing the positive thing that you learned in that hurdle will always make your journey better and will always make you stronger. And that's always my takeaway, whatever happens with my business. It's that I learned something from it. It's really important that we get to acknowledge that we've learned things along the way. It might be a hurtful takeaway, but it is something that you will carry with you. And this is something that you can share to other people as well, that they will be able to maybe avoid that path or whatever that you learn from it. You can share something that will make them realize that they want to follow your path and maybe skip that mistake with you.
Thank you so much, Kat, for joining us on Heard on Thursdays. We so appreciate your insight and your advice, of course, for women who just want to start a business, who want to become successful in their own way. So we very much appreciate your time, and thank you once again. And for all the monsters who are listening, we'll catch you again in the next episode. For now, keep it locked only here on the Monsters.